Paul W. Schroeder is an American historian and professor emeritus of history at the University of Illinois, specializing in late-16th to 20th-century European international politics, Central Europe, and the theory of history. Schroeder was born in Cleveland, Ohio, the son of Rupert H.Schroeder and Elfrieda Koch. He attended Concordia Seminary, Texas Christian University, and the University of Texas at Austin, where he received his doctorate in 1958. He received the 1956 Beveridge Award for the best manuscript on American history submitted by a beginning historian. He was an associate professor of history at Concordia Senior College from 1958 to 1963, after which he was hired at the University of Illinois. In a 1972 essay entitled World War I as a Galloping Gertie, Schroeder, contrary to established historical opinion and Article 231 of the Treaty of Versailles, laid the blame for the First World War on Britain's doorstep. Schroeder characterized the political events leading up to the war as a galloping Gertie, a metaphor which described political events as escalating out of control, pulling and pushing all five great powers into an unwanted war. Schroeder's research highlighted the fact that Britain was engaged in an encirclement policy directed at the Austria-Hungary Empire. The British policy was not in keeping with the Congress system which had developed after the Napoleonic Wars and was fundamentally anti-German, and even more so, anti-Austrian. Britain's policy created an atmosphere in which Germany was forced into a preventive war to maintain Austria as an Allied power. Apart from his scholarship, Schroeder has been a regular contributor to the paleoconservative magazine, The American Conservative, writing strong critiques of the Bush administration's foreign policy for its destabilizing, counterproductive effects. The internationalist, realist perspective of his critiques fits well with his favorable appraisals of the 19th-century concert of Europe approach to international relations that Schroeder has offered as a model in his scholarship. Perry Anderson has called him arguably the greatest living American historian, and said that his The Transformation of European Politics, 1763 to 1848, revolutionized one of the most disgraced of all fields in the discipline, diplomatic history. Awards: Albert J. Beveridge Award, American Historical Association, 1956. Walter Prescott Webb Memorial Prize, 1962. Finalist, Campus Award for Excellence in Undergraduate Teaching, University of Illinois, 1975. Queen Prize, University of Illinois, 1980. Senior University Scholar, University of Illinois, 1989. British International Studies Association, 1990. Jubilee Professor, University of Illinois, 1992. Honorary Doctor of Letters, Valparaiso University, 1993. Fellowships: Fulbright Scholar in Austria, 1956-1957. United States Steel Foundation Fellow, 1957-1958. Senior Fellow, National Endowment for the Humanities, 1973. Senior Fellow, American Council of Learned Societies, 1976-1977. Fellow, Woodrow Wilson International Center for Scholars, 1983-84. Visiting Research Fellow, Merton College, Oxford, 1984. Jennings Randolph Peace Fellow, United States Institute of Peace, 1992-93. Officers: Secretary-Treasurer, Conference Group for Central European History, 1967-1968. Research Division Committee, American Historical Association, 1974-1977. Adams Prize Committee, American Historical Association, 1974 to 1977. Member, Advisory Council, West European Program of the Woodrow Wilson International Center for Scholars, 1984 to 92. Member, American Committee to Promote the Study of the Habsburg Monarchy, 1983 to 88. Section Editor, A Guide to Historical Literature. Member, Advisory Council, German Historical Institute, Washington, 1995. Publications. Books: The Axis Alliance and Japanese-American Relations, 1941. Metternich's Diplomacy at its Zenith, 1820–1823. Paperback reprint by University of Texas Press, 1976. Austria, Great Britain, and the Crimean War. The Destruction of the European Concert. The Transformation of European Politics, 1763–1848. Articles. Metternich Studies since 1925. Journal of Modern History, 33, 237–66. In JSDOR, Austrian Policy at the Congresses of Troppitz and Laybach, Journal of Central European Affairs, 22 No. 2, 139–52. Austria as an Obstacle to Italian Unification and Freedom, 1814–1861. Austrian History Newsletter, 1962, 1–32. American Books on Austria-Hungary. Austrian History Yearbook 2, 1972–196. The Status of Habsburg Studies in the United States. Austrian History Yearbook 3, pt. 3, 267–295. Bruck vs. Buhl, The Dispute Over Austrian Eastern Policy, 1853–1855. Journal of Modern History 40 No. 2, 193–217. In JSDOR, Austria and the Danubian Principalities, 1853–1856. Central European History 2 No. 3, 216–36. In JSDOR, A Turning Point in Austrian Policy in the Crimean War. The Conferences of March, 1954. Austrian History Yearbook, IVV, 159–202. World War I as Galloping Gertie, A Reply to Joachim Remak, Journal of Modern History 44, No. 2, 319–344. NJSDOR, The Balance of Power System in Europe, 1815–1871. Naval War College Review, March to April 1975, 18–31. Romania and the Great Powers Before 1914. Review Roumain d'Histoire 14, 1, 39–53. Munich and the British Tradition. The Historical Journal, 19I, pp. 223–243. In JSDOR, Alliances, 1815–1945. Weapons of Power and Tools of Management, in Klaus Knorr ed. Historical Problems of National Security, pp. 247–286. Quantitative Studies in the Balance of Power, An Historian's Reaction, and a Final Rejoinder, Journal of Conflict Resolution 21 No. 1, 3–22, 57–74. In JSDOR, Austro-German Relations, Divergent Views of the Disjoined Partnership, Central European History 11 No. 3, 302–312. Gladstone as Bismarck P. Canadian Journal of History, 15, pp. 163–195. Containment 19th-century style, How Russia Was Restrained, South Atlantic Quarterly 82, 1–18. The Lost Intermediaries, The Impact of 1870 on the European System, International History Review, Vi. 1-27, Historische und die Orientalische Frage, 1848-1883, in Das Zeitalter Kaiser Franz Josephs von der Revolutionsjährgrundisiert, Volume I. 324-28, Does Murphy's Law Apply to History? The Wilson-Cordley 84-93. The European International System, 1789-1848. Is there a problem? An answer. Colloquium paper presented March 19, 1984 at the Woodrow Wilson International Center for Scholars, Smithsonian Institution, Washington, D.C. The European International System, 1789-1848. Is there a question? An answer. Proceedings of the Consortium on Revolutionary Europe, 1-29. The 19th-century international system, Changes in the Structure, World Politics 39 No. 1, 1-26. In JSDOR. Old Wine in Old Bottles. Recent Contributions to British Foreign Policy and European International Politics, 1789-1848. Journal of British Studies 26, 1-1-25. In JSDOR. Once More, The German Question, International History Review IX 1, 96-107. The Collapse of the Second Coalition, Journal of Modern History 59, 2, pg. 244-290. In JSDOR. An Unnatural Natural Alliance, Castlereagh, Metternich, and Aberdeen in 1813. International History Review Exp. No. 4, 522-540. The 19th-century Balance of Power. Balance of Power, A Political Equilibrium. Review of International Studies, 15, 135-153. Failed Bargain Crisis, Deterrence, and the International System, in Paul C. Stern al. eds. Perspectives on Deterrence, 67-83. Germany and the Balance of Power, Past and Present Part 1, in Wolf Gruner, ed. Gleichgewichtengeschichte und Gegenwart, 134-39. Die Habsburger Monarchie und das Europäische System im 19. Jahrhundert, in E. M. Burger und G. Hedermann, eds. Die Herausforderung des Europäischen Staatensystems, 178-82. Europe and the German Confederation in the 1860s, in Helmut Rumpler, ed. Deutsche Bund und Deutsche Frage 1815-1866, 281-91. The years 1848 and 1989, The Perils and Profits of Historical Comparisons, in Samuel F. Wells, ed. The Helsinki Process and the Future of Europe, 15-21. Review article, Napoleon Bonaparte, International History Review, 12, 324-29. Napoleon's Foreign Policy, A Criminal Enterprise, Journal of Military History 54, No. 2, 147-61. INJSDOR. Die Rolle der Vereinigten Staaten bei der Entfesselung des Zweiten Weltkrieges, in Klaus Hildebrand et al. eds. 1939, and Der Schwelle zum Weltkrieg, 215-19. A Just Unnecessary War, The Flawed American Strategy in the Persian Gulf. ACDIS Occasional Paper, March 1991. 14 pp. The Neo-Realist Theory of International Politics, A Historian's View. ACDIS Occasional Paper, April 1991. 12 pp. Did the Vienna Settlement rest on a balance of power? American Historical Review, 97, 2, 683-706, 733-5, in JSDOR. The Transformation of Political Thinking, 1787–1848, in Jack Snyder and Robert Jervis, eds. Coping with Complexity in the International System, 47–70, System and Systemic Thinking in International History, Journal of International History Review XV, 1, 116–34, Economic Integration and the European International System in the Era of World War I, American Historical Review 94, 4, 1130–37. In JSDOR, Historical Reality versus Neo-Realist Theory, International Security 19, 1, pp. 108–48. In JSDOR, History versus Neo-Realism, A Second Look, International Security, Volume 20, Number 1, pp. 182–195. In JSDOR, History and International Relations Theory, Not Use or Abuse, but Fit or Misfit, International Security, Volume 22, Number 1, pp. 64–74. In JSDOR, The Transformation of European Politics, Some Reflections, in Wolfram Pyther and Philip Menger, eds. Das Europäische Mächtekonzert.